I never thought I would talk about First Frost before covering Hidden Love on the channel, but see, First Frost is the kind of drama that doesn't just start off slow, it stays glacial for like the first half, to the point where you're at episode 15 and wondering if this drama was created as a mechanism of torture and if you are actually in perdition, which is why nothing seems to be happening. And then the next few episodes happen and you're like, oh my god, I am so emotionally invested in this drama. First and foremost, this drama's strength lies in the casting of its leads, especially the actress who plays Wen Yifan, Zhang Runan. I don't even remember her from the few supporting roles I've seen her in before, but she's made a permanent mark in my brain through this character. The actor playing Sanyan, on the other hand, initially didn't impress me, mostly because of a flaw in C-dramas where male leads aren't really allowed to emote too fast or too early in the drama. So you really have to wait for all of that emotion to come in towards the latter half. But he did portray this one thing really well from the very beginning, and it was this deep calmness and patience in his interactions with the female lead. The actor Bai Jingting is eventually allowed to express all of his emotions, but it is a journey. You have to wait for it. So briefly, and without spoiling too much, First Frost is a drama about high school sweethearts reuniting. Except one of them has been deeply hurt by the other in the past. So once they meet again, the person who was hurt is very cautious about the way they approach the other person. They want to have something happen, but they're also not willing to open themselves up as much as they had before, because that way probably lies more hurt. And I can't talk about this drama without spoiling stuff, so here is your spoiler warning. If you haven't watched it or don't like spoilers, don't watch beyond this point. Okay, I've done my duty, now I can spoil stuff. So our hero is Sangyan and our heroine is Wei Yifan. Those of you who have watched Hidden Love might recognize the name Sangyan because that was the name of the female lead Sang-chi's brother. First Frost is based in the same world as Hidden Love. It's even happening parallelly with the events of Hidden Love. Both of these dramas span a few years, so if you've watched both dramas and are familiar with the events of both dramas, you can see Sang-chi's romance happening in the background with Duang Jiachu kind of muted in the background. You can barely see it, but also these familiar characters are played by different actors. Sangyan, who was played by Victor Ma in Hidden Love, is played by Bai Jingting in First Frost. And it's not just that the actors are changed, the perspective is wholly different as well. I saw somebody suggest on Reddit that Hidden Love was from Sang-chi's perspective, whereas First Frost is from Wen Yifan's perspective. So obviously, in Hidden Love, Sang-chi sees herself as more mature, as a 19-year-old. She sees Duan Jiachu as like the hottest thing ever, oh my god. And her brother as like this, somewhat bumbling, annoying presence in her life. If you flip to First Frost, you see Sang-chi and her romance in the background, not because we are seeing things from Sangyan's perspective, because obviously he's much closer to his sister and his friend who are getting together in another city and he's not happy about it. We are seeing it from Wen Yifan's perspective, who sees Sang-chi as a little kid, even when she's in college. So she looks younger. She doesn't really have a very clear impression of Don Jiachu because for most of the time that she knows him, he lives in another city and only briefly visits them. So that is a really interesting play on perspective. Am I a little miffed that Victor Ma didn't get to portray Sangyan in First Frost? Yes, but I have seen this happen too many times in C-dramas. I remember being really mad about it when Go-Go Squid 2 came out because they had replaced the female lead but not the male lead. And it very clearly seemed to me that while they wanted a female lead who was older than the male lead, they also wanted her to be an actress who looked more fragile, younger, whereas the actress playing the same character in Go-Go Squid 1 was beautiful, but also clearly looked like she was in her 30s, which C-dramas can't have. Like, you can have characters who are in their 30s, but they cannot look like they're in their 30s. Okay, back to First Frost. More than anything else, what kept me hooked on this drama was this really complicated romantic relationship at the center of it. It doesn't seem complicated when you're starting the drama out because, hey, these two used to be really close, nearly dating when they were in high school. For whatever reason, they parted. Years later, they met again. The guy is clearly not over her. He manufactures a reason, so he ends up co-renting an apartment with her. And then very slowly, the two of them start getting closer again. Like, really slowly. And for majority of that time, Wen Yifan does not seem to understand that Sangyan is going out of his way to be in her space, be available for her, do things for her. He keeps doing things like abandoning his own family during Chinese New Year so he can come back quickly and spend that evening with Wen Yifan, who he knows is not going to be spending time with her family. But when she asks him why he came back early, he's like, well, my house was too full of relatives. I just couldn't. I had to escape. When that was, not the case at all. But the reason he keeps doing that is because the last time they were together, he wore his heart on his sleeve and made no secret of his affection for her. But because his heartbreak was so deep and he still doesn't know the reason why it had to happen, this time around, he's not willing to be the one to open up to her first. He's not willing to openly express his affection, openly pursue her, or show any weaknesses, all of which is very reasonable, right? And I found this aspect really interesting because we have had so many dramas across Asian TV land where the misunderstanding trope is used to create a rift between the male and female lead that has to slowly be bridged, even though the male lead probably believes the worst of the female lead. And one of the hallmarks of that trope is that what he believes is usually not true. I was recently rewatching this drama called My Sunshine. This is a 2015 C-drama. They have a similar thing going on here where college sweethearts had a really bad breakup and they meet years later. And for all of these years, there's been nobody else for either of them. But when they reunite, the male lead can't trust her because his trust has been broken so badly. But the thing with those dramas was that there was always a really good reason for why the female lead had to leave or go away. And that reason would be one where she would not really have to apologize for what she did because the situation was so bad. And it was really the male lead misunderstanding her intentions that created the situation and made it as bad as it was. First Frost doesn't do that though. Wen Yifan had something really horrible happening to her back in high school, which is what led to her breaking his heart. However, while one thing caused the other, they were also slightly separated. The horrible thing that was happening to her, which we'll come to, did not force her to do what she did to him. She made an active choice. Instead of communicating with him, she decided to cut him off. It hurt her deeply too, but what she did to him was really unfair. And the drama doesn't dismiss it or make it a matter of, hey, the female lead situation was so bad and therefore we should forgive her for all of her actions. The story by the end of the drama deals with the fact that what she had done was really wrong. It also deals with how it's not like a one-time thing, that potentially this is something she can do to him again. And has the couple face that issue? Has Wen Yifan understand over and over again how much hurt she had caused and how her refusing to communicate and walk away when things get really hard is what does the most damage to Sangyan.
我为什么对你做过这么多不好的事？
So it's really complicated. It's also the kind of relationship where if we were friends with Sangyan, we would ask him to drop Wen Yifan like hot coals because she is a very toxic presence in his life. She would seem the kind of person who would repeatedly hurt him because she is going through something difficult. You know that truism, hurt people, that really applies to Wen Yifan. So what was enjoyable was watching a relationship that could go sour, become toxic really easily, but is saved from that fate Because Wen Yifan is willing to self-reflect. She's willing to acknowledge where she went wrong despite everything she was going through. She could have made different choices that didn't involve hurting Sanyan. There is an argument to be made that the drama is really pushing Sanyan's character to be extremely self-sacrificial. Like, his patience with Wen Yifan goes beyond anything that should be expected of a partner. He's the kind of ideal partner who has no baggage of his own that he's carrying. His only baggage is the trauma from a heartbreak from the same woman. But aside from that, he has nothing else going wrong in his life. He is the product of the most healthy family environment possible. His friends are like the nicest people possible. He is just like this shining example of a guy who has had all of the nutrition of great relationships in his life. And so he has turned out to be somebody who is willing to give that kind of nutrition to Wen Yifan, who is starved of that. So can we say that Sanyan's approach to Wen Yifan, so all of the time and all of the emotions that he invests in her, is an unrealistic expectation? Probably yes. And then I think about Hidden Love and how in that story, Sang-chi was the one who was the product of the loving family, Sanyan's sister, and that she was very willing to provide that kind of like affection, care, protection towards Duan Jiechu, who didn't have that in his life. He was going through a lot of things and didn't have people to care for him. So I suppose parallelly with Hidden Love and First Frost, both of which are based on novels, by the way, the writer clearly is showing Sang-chi and Sanyan as two really good people who are also really privileged, both in the class of society they were born in, the kind of education they got, but also primarily the kind of love and security they had growing up, which is what enables them to go forward and share that bounty of affection, good fortune, and care with their friends and their loved ones. Like, Sanyan was the first one to help out Duan Jiechu when they were teenagers. Sanyan is also the one who notices Wen Yifan's situation, and even though he doesn't know the details of it, either when they were back in high school or in the current period, he is willing to provide emotional support however much she would allow him. Like, he comes from such a perfect situation that it's not something we can realistically expect from our partners, but wouldn't it be nice? It's not something that should be expected from a partner, but that is exactly what makes Duan Jiechu and Wen Yifan in First Frost really lucky, that they met people who could make space for all of the crap that they had gone through and all of the emotional starvation, the lack of familial protection that they had survived through the years. Okay, now I can talk about Wen Yifan, who is my favorite character in the drama, which is not surprising. First Frost is from Wen Yifan's perspective, and the production team did a bang-on job casting Zhang Runan as Wen Yifan, and I kind of want to put her in a ball of cotton and like just make her life better somehow. She is one of the prettiest criers I've ever seen on screen. This is an ability I always find really fascinating. But she also has the ability to make you really feel for her, even when you don't quite know what it is that is draining all emotion from her face. Wen Yifan has been written as this really quiet and reserved character who only comes alive for like a handful of people in her life. One is her best friend, Chichao, and the other one is Sanyan. For everybody else, she has this really pleasant, polite face that is like a permanent mask. And there is this one point where there is this like very annoying second, third male lead who just, he comes in, he gets no encouragement from her whatsoever. He's this junior intern at her workplace. And his perception of her was a really interesting study in who Wen Yifan seemed to be to the outside world and who she actually was to her friends and to Sanyan. So he looked at how fragile she seemed and how competent and pleasant and willing to help out if she can. And he saw someone who was a pushover. Whereas when you see Wen Yifan from Sun Yan's perspective, she is like a mountain, impenetrable and impossible to move. So for the few episodes where that puppy was really active in the plot, it was funny to see him assume things about Wen Yifan that even the audience by that time knew was just not true about her character. As an aside, a good chunk of this drama focuses on Wen Yifan's career as a journalist. And while there are certain plot beats about how her colleagues in a previous workplace had treated her and how she's not willing to allow the same thing to happen in her new workplace, which were very important beats in her character and interesting to watch, the weakest point of this drama's writing is in how they try to show work of any kind, literally any kind, whether it is journalism, which was just a laughable caricature of in this drama, or if it's somebody who owns a bar or works in a gaming company. It's like the writer was like, hey, they do job, and then didn't really bother to find out anything about said job. I think the most realistic depiction of anybody's work was probably Shi Chao's work as a gig worker, but only because we got to see a minimal number of scenes where she is doing said work. Usually most of her storyline is taken up by her developing romance with her love interest and the tale of his family and their dynamic. So if accuracy in portrayal of journalism is something you feel strongly about, fast forward is your friend. Even though this drama has a lot of flaws, and I'm deliberately not going into them because I know that in a year's time, if I think back to First Frost, it's not the flaws I'm going to be thinking about. This is one of those stories where the flaws exist and they are glaring, especially in the first half. But by the second half, you kind of forget about it and you forgive it all because they did such a good job of layering the emotions and really building up to a place where all of the satisfying conversations could be had and all of the difficult relationships could be resolved. Basically, the build-up is so slow, you will barely notice it until suddenly you realize you're deep in it and now you can't let go, because you have to like crest the hill and get to the other side and get like proper closure now. Now let's talk about the horrible thing that had happened to Wen Yifan. Trigger warning for sexual assault right here. When Wen Yifan was in her high school, her father passed away. It appears from a pretty long illness. Her mother was very quick to get pregnant and marry another man. And within a matter of a few months, she went from a teenager with both parents to suddenly a kid with neither. Her father's gone, her mother has a new family, and after a brief attempt of blending the two families, her mother sort of offloaded her to her grandmother. And then once the grandmother fell sick, she was then taken in by her uncle and aunt, who didn't really want to have her. So the portrayal of Wen Yifan's relationship with her mother is one of rapid estrangement. Her mother seems like the kind of person who can make selfish decisions and then dissociate from it very quickly, so she doesn't have to deal with the guilt of having done what she had done. As an aside, K-dramas and C-dramas often portray mothers who abandon their children to go on to have a new family with a different man. And it's something that I see a lot of in dramas, but haven't found a lot of statistical evidence of. So I don't know how prevalent this experience is in Chinese society. What I can tell you is that something around 70% of single parents in China are single mothers. So that's something to keep in mind. Coming back to the story of Wen Yifan's relationship with her mother, she is already deeply wounded by her mother, who just handed her off like an unwanted parcel. What made the thing infinitely worse was while she was under the care of her uncle's family, her aunt's brother began to sexually harass her, to the point where she called her mother terribly scared that she's going to be attacked in her own room, because neither her uncle nor her aunt seemed to want to engage with what was happening, even though they could clearly see and had even walked in on him trying to molest her. She calls her mother, desperate to be rescued, and her mother just gives her some platitudes and hangs up on her. So sometime later, when her uncle and aunt are out at work and this molester comes into her room, clearly intending to rape her, the only way she gets away from him is by literally jumping out of her bedroom window. She also manages to take him down, which is mildly satisfying. But in the process, she fractures her foot. And Wen Yifan is a dancer at this point with a promising career in that direction. And this completely ends any dream she had of becoming a professional dancer. However, that night, when she is hurt, when she had just been assaulted, she manages to somehow call the police so that her uncle and aunt can't just brush it off. But this just makes all the adults in her life terribly angry with her. Her mom comes because she has to. The police called her. But instead of supporting her daughter, she can't wait to get away from there. So she implies that her daughter misunderstood the situation, that the aunt's brother is a very good man and couldn't possibly have done this. And her daughter is sitting over there, shivering and in pain and clearly distraught, but none of that seems to penetrate. Thankfully, one of the police officers who had been called takes her away and gives her shelter for probably the next few months until she can get into college. But the fact that the adults in Wen Yifan's own life, in her own family, didn't stand up for her, didn't care for her, didn't seem to want her, she was a burden to all of them, it's something that makes permanent scars in her mind. So yeah, it's during that period when she's going through loss of her father, loss of her home, loss of trust in every adult in her life, that Sun Yan is making regular trips from their old hometown to the new city where she is based with her aunt's family, just to see her every weekend so they can study together to get into the same university at one point. That is a promise they had made to each other. But after what she went through, she is no longer in a mental state where she can keep promises. Her priority, first and foremost, is to get away from her family, which means that she can't go to the university of her home city anymore because that would put her in proximity to her mother. So to avoid that, she goes to a university in a different city, and the way she breaks this news to Sun Yan is by telling him that she does not want to see him anymore, that him coming to visit her every weekend is something that bothers her, that she's been putting up with, that she has chosen a different university, kind of letting him think that she was never serious about their joint goal to get to the same university anymore, that he's not important in her life, that she has been tolerating his attentions and affections. And it's just a really brutal way to end that friendship. It hadn't even developed into a relationship yet, but it was clearly one where both of them knew that they liked each other. So it was a really deep hurt. I think the drama does a really good job of both making Wen Yifan's situation sympathetic. Like, she's not in a state of mind to think about Sun Yan's feelings or the devastating effect her words would have on him. She also downplays what breaking up with him would do to him, because in her life, nobody has really valued her so much that she has a high opinion of herself. She seems to think that he will get over her easily, that this is just a teenage fancy that will disappear. There's also the fact that Wen Yifan at that age was already feeling very guilty about all of the effort Sun Yan has been putting in. He had been visiting her city every weekend after she had transferred out of their school. And this is something that obviously takes up a lot of time. She failed to see the good impact she had on his life, that she had made him more motivated to study, to achieve something together with her. She only saw the fact that she was costing him a lot of effort. So when she imagined their future life, where instead of going to the same university, she is going to a university in another city where you would have to fly to see each other, she didn't want him to have the burden of having to come and see her every single time. I can kind of understand from a practical point of view why she thought it would not work out. Where she did wrong, very wrong, was in not talking to him at all, not explaining the true reasons, not even giving him a chance or a choice, not letting things play out naturally. Instead, she unilaterally made a decision and ended the relationship.
对不起，是我没有告诉你。
So the drama manages to walk this fine line between both giving Wen Yifan an understandable reason, but also not forgiving her for what she did to Sanyan. So when years later, after a long period of being housemates, they slowly start dating again, and the sexual predator comes back into the scene and is obsessed with Wen Yifan because she had called the police and basically gotten him a record. He keeps stalking her and he makes it his business to be as menacing and stalkerish as possible, which is a situation Wen Yifan deals with not by explaining to Sanyan why this man is a threat and the problems he is causing, but by decamping. Because in her head, if she is not in the city, then Sanyan will no longer be bothered by the man. Is she thinking with all engines firing in this situation? Probably not. She is responding to a past trauma and she is repeating the same thinking pattern because that's what fear does to you. You fall back on a familiar way of thinking because your higher brain is simply not functioning as it should. Both the drama and Sanyan show a lot of patience with this aspect of Wen Yifan, which I found slightly frustrating while I was watching it because I felt a lot of anger on behalf of Sanyan towards Wen Yifan, despite what she was going through. Not because she had walked away from him, but because she did that thing that drama heroes and heroines have done throughout time, which can succinctly be called noble idiocy, where you take a unilateral decision for your partner and hurt both of you. I really, really dislike that trope. And also something to note here is that Wen Yifan didn't just abandon Sanyan, but also her best friend, who has a very strong emotional connection with Wen Yifan and depends on having her in her life as a friend. So I like that the drama didn't make this a decision that solely affected the main lead, but also other people in her life, more specifically her best friend, who's like a sister to her. And so eventually when this group of people find Wen Yifan and have the conversation that we've been hoping they'll have for I don't even know how many episodes at this point, what keeps the situation from being overwhelmingly annoying is the fact that Wen Yifan had used that period to reflect on her actions and figure out that running away was not the answer and that she was hurting people more than she was protecting them by her decisions. The drama treats this period of separation as space that Wen Yifan needed to get her perspectives right. So there is an exchange where Wen Yifan says that after running away, I developed some sympathy for people who do run away because sometimes you need to. Which is why even as somebody who thinks that her decision to abandon Sanyan once more is really harmful and hurtful, I also see where she's coming from. There are situations in life where running away is the only way you can clear your head and think about a situation with a certain amount of objectivity, which she was not being able to do while she was being stalked by her aunt's brother. So yeah, the drama really manages to maintain that fine line between giving her understandable reasons for her behavior and making sure that she is accountable for what she has done. Because the people in Sanyan's life, thankfully, are not willing to let her forget how devastated he was every time she decided to leave him behind. Like between Sanyan's sister and one of his besties, Wen Yifan gets a really good idea of how despairing, how depressed Sanyan had been both in the past and during her more recent abandonment. Could she have been roasted over the coals more? Absolutely. Part of me thinks she should have been. But also, I give the drama leeway. They wanted to focus on the wholesomeness of their relationship more, and I was all for it. I was so happy to see them happy. There are also some of these moments in the drama that will probably stay with me for a while. For instance, there is this exchange between Sanyan and Wen Yifan, where Wen Yifan just had the final and most devastating conversation with her mother. And she's quietly crying into Sanyan's back, almost like a child, saying that nobody loves her but him. And in response, he makes a birthday wish for her. And he says, my wish is that a lot of people will love you besides me. And for a character who's been shown to be single-minded in his pursuit of her, in his attachment to her, in how possessive he is of her, this was definitely the best and the most loving thing anyone could have said to her. And I think a few scenes later, when he introduces her to his parents, and his parents are like more than willing to envelop her within their family, it's almost like he's providing her with those other people who would love her. And it's so wholesome and so satisfying. It's really hard to focus on everything that had annoyed me in the first half of the drama, primarily anything to do with her job, when this is what I get by the end of the drama. I am so fully happy and satisfied with how the emotional arc of the main relationship went. I cannot complain. I will not complain. Oh, one final thing. I am so dead and tired of awful parents being given last-minute redemptions so that the children can continue to have some kind of a relationship with them. And First Frost doesn't do that. It doesn't do that. Like, Wen Yifan she's the kind of person who will give you a really long leash, but when she cuts you off, she cuts you off. And it was very satisfying. Okay, so that was a very rambling discussion of all of the reasons I enjoyed First Frost. So that's it for this week. Bye.